Kinshasa, wow, my homeland. I love that place. You just feel like this is home. This is where I belong. I remember then, I was so small and it was like my first day at school. My daddy took me to my class, grade 1, and I was crying. I didn't want to go to school. I wanted to go back home. So after school, we went out with my mom. We went to the zoo. We saw all those baboons and lions and all. It was an amazing experience. It really was. I love Congo. My father was a policeman in Congo, so I never saw much of him because he would go to war most of the times. In Congo, if you are a policeman or a soldier, you can't stop. You have to do that for the rest of your life. And that job doesn't pay much. So my father wanted to stop being a soldier, and they said no by the army where he used to work. They said no. So the only way for him to stop doing that was to travel to another country. And then the army and all that came to look for us. My father had already left, so there was nothing. So they started threatening us. So we had to come over because they don't want you to stop being a police. You have to do that for the rest of your life. When I came in South Africa, I went 2 years behind. I was supposed to be in grade 6. They put me back in grade 4 because I couldn't speak English. I felt like dropping out of school. I mean, it was a very difficult time, you know. You've passed a certain stage of your life, now you gotta go back to it. It's very difficult. I wanted to drop out, but then I knew what I wanted in life, so I kept on going. I told myself, if this is the challenges that comes in my life, I gotta go with it. So I came in South Africa, repeated 2 grades. Now, I'm not in the right grade, but yet not so bad. And most of the people in my class are younger than me. Failing is not the end of the world. Failing simply means I never did it right, gotta go back and make things right. When you fail, there's this feeling, you just feel wrong, you want to drop out. But then you gotta tell the world that you're not gonna beat me at my own game. If I fail, I'm gonna start all over. Coming to South Africa was a bit difficult because firstly, you can't speak English. You speak French and your books, it's written in English, and it seems like some drawings in your book that you don't understand. But then eventually I got used to it because God sent an angel my way. There was a girl, a French girl who came from Congo, but then she lived in South Africa for longer than I did. So they put me in her class. Her name was Bella Chris. They put me in her class and she helped me. She translated for me. She helped me a lot. But then before that, it was really tough. I couldn't understand a thing. I dedicated myself to knowing what South Africa is about. I dedicated myself to understanding South African people. So I started being with people who speak English. I started watching a lot of English cartoons. And I tried speaking a little. And I went to people who were really different from me. Although I felt like an outsider, but I still went there, forced myself into them to get to know them, who they are, so that I can learn a little bit about them, so that they also can learn a bit about me. Because if I had to be stuck alone, like say, okay, I'm a Congolese, I'm alone. If I had to be like that, I wouldn't have learned anything because I would have been all by myself, speaking to myself like a crazy person. I would have never learned English. So I decided to go and be with people who know the country, who loves there, who were born here. What makes me most scared is that you feel like you'll never be a part of those people. You'll never be a part of a certain thing. I mean, I'm African. You also African. I'm trying so hard here for us to click in, to be like same blood, one person. We all Africans. We should learn to accept each other. It's kind of sad when you try and be around people and make friends and they still don't accept you for who you are. I want to become a doctor, and that's for my own personal reasons because I've been hospitalized so many times. I've been sick most of my life, so I would like to help people not go through the same pain as I went through. And I don't want to be any doctor, not a general doctor, an abdomen surgeon. If I make my mother and father, my parents proud, that will be my biggest achievement in life. There's most people who come from poor, very, very poor places. But yet, if you're educated, you can take your family in a place where they've never been. You can change your whole story around. You can make a world that you never thought existed. Education is the key to success and is the key to life.